Live tonight at the Riverbank Theatre in Marine City, Bonnie and Clyde the Musical is taking place. Let's hear from a few of the stars about what the life of crime truly entails.
The show we're doing is Bonnie and Clyde, and the musical is really unique because it takes you through their story, but in an adventurous and comedic way, whereas obviously the real story was a little bit more dark. The musical takes you on a wild ride of adventure and comedy. We chose Bonnie and Clyde because it's a classic story, but it's really complicated and interesting. The musical takes these larger-than-life historical figures and draws you into their story. I am so passionate about this show. It means so much to me. One, because it is my favorite musical in the whole world. From listening to the music on the car rides to and from college to just being obsessed with the show and listening to it nonstop. And the story is just so interesting to me because it takes the lives of these two historical figures who were not great people, but it takes you through their story and it makes you interested in their story. Another reason it's really meaningful to me is actually because throughout this process, I've become so close with these people. So it has become even more meaningful to me on a whole different level because I've met all these beautiful people. A show like this is made possible by the work of so many people. There is so much hard work that comes into a production that you don't even realize, so much behind the scene work. We have like a production team, we have a tech team, and of course the actors, the musicians. So it's made possible by so much hard work and so many loving hearts. This show is considered PG-13. There's a lot of adult content in it, adult language, and content in general. So we would recommend it for ages 13 and up.
I have been doing theater since I was 8 years old. I did my first show that my mom forced me into, and I didn't want to do it, and then I showed up on the first day, and I fell in love with it, and I've been doing theater ever since, yeah. When you're taking on a role with so much history to it, there's a lot of research that goes on into the actual history of the show. So there's a lot of that, a lot of researching, what kind of clothes they wore, what kind of cars they drove, where they did their stuff, and what was happening in the surrounding area / the country at that time. This was right kind of smack in the middle of the Great Depression, so there's all that history. And I remember seeing the show for the first time when I was 14, and I laughed and I cried, and it was one of the first times in a theater that I remember thinking, I want to play that part someday. So this role and this show has always been very important to me, so I'm really excited to get to do it.
I have been performing my entire life. I started off in early elementary school. The middle school that I lived by put on big shows every year, so I would go and see that with my elementary school. And then when I was in 5th grade, they announced that we were doing A Christmas Carol, and I wanted to be in it so bad, and I got to play the Ghost of Christmas Present, and it was like so surreal, so I haven't really stopped since. What's unique to this show is it doesn't glorify the romance of the story of Bonnie and Clyde. I feel like a lot of adaptations really play into the drama and the romance and how madly in love they were with each other, which is the truth, but it really gets into the nitty-gritty and like what really made them the people that they are.
We're excited to kick off our 2024 season with this show. It's perfect for our venue. So we've got Bonnie and Clyde breaking into the Riverbank, which was a former bank building. Just seems like a perfect fit for our venue. And we're so pleased to have Stephanie Graham. She's our education director, but she's wearing a new hat for this show. This is her directorial debut on our main stage, and we're so proud of her. She directed the show, she music directed the show. She just has a passion for this story and this music, and it's really come across, so we hope the audience enjoys. We've got 3 venues now, the Snug Theater, the Riverbank Theater, and the Boardwalk Theater in St. Clair. So next up is Wizard of Oz at the Boardwalk. So that's a family-friendly show. And then after that, back here on the Riverbank stage is a hilarious spoof. It's based on Alfred Hitchcock's The 39 Steps. So that's like a British comedy farce. It's 4 actors, and they play a million roles. So that's very fun. Good date night for that one, too. So there's 3 young performers in Bonnie and Clyde, and they do a fabulous job, but they've come through our classes. So if you've got an aspiring performer in your family, I would encourage you to check out our Performing Arts Academy classes, and you get to work with Stephanie, who directed the show.
Viewers can go to www.thumbcoasttheaters.com to order tickets. Tickets are $38 a piece, and we are running until March 10th.
What a thrilling and immersive show. Don't just take my word for it. Get a first-hand look at this dangerously beautiful live performance. With MCoast TV, I'm Melissa Painter.